Hello, it's Jeanette with Amazing Paper Crafts. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today's video, I have a card set that I'm making, and I'm using the 2018 to 2020 colors, in colors. And so we've got the Blueberry Bushel, we have the Pineapple Punch, Grapefruit Grove, Lovely Lipstick, and the only other one that we don't have is the Call Me Clover. So I'm going to go ahead and make the card that I'm going to be making, showing you how I make today. And I'm going to be using the Call Me Clover. And I just want you to take a look at this card. It is such a simple card to make with the button, and we're going to be using the Crackle paint stamp. It is a background stamp and some die cuts and ribbon and buttons, and just easy to do. So let me collect these and we will get started. So the first thing you're going to need to do is cut out your design, your cardstock, and this is a Whisper White cardstock and Call Me Clover, and I have cut that out of the stitched rectangle dies, and you're going to be using the third to the largest and the fourth to the largest. The third to the largest for your color cardstock, and then this is for the Whisper White, the fourth to the largest. Okay, and then you can see that it has the stitched edge around it. Okay, and yes, these layer really nice. And I'm going to be using just a regular note card. This measures 7 by, I think it's 7 by 5, and when you fold it in half, it's a 3.5 by 5 inch note card. And we sell, Stampin' Up sells them in a pack of 20, and you also get the envelope too. So we'll go ahead and use our bone folder and fold that in half. They are pre-scored for you down the middle here. So I'm going to set that aside for right now, and I'm going to go ahead and bring out my Crackle paint stamp, and this is a background stamp. I've got it attached to a block F, and we're going to use our Call Me Clover ink. Okay, and I'm just going to ink this up, and I'm going to then place my Whisper White. Now you have to pay attention to where your stitches are. Whoops. Make sure that you are putting the part with the stitches, the front of the card, of the cardstock, against the ink, because you want that to be in front. And now I am going to just place a piece of paper over that so that I could rub, and just gently rub, and try not to move that piece of cardstock in there, otherwise you'll smear the ink. So we're just rubbing and rubbing very gently. I'm not rubbing too hard. Now I'm going to take my tweezers, and you'll be able to see. Look, isn't that a cool background? Okay, now I'm also going to do the flap of the envelope, but I want to protect that flap, so I'm just going to protect this part of the envelope in the back, and I only want to stamp the flap. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up again. And I'm protecting the flap, and I'm just going to lay this down, and I'm going to use another piece of scrap paper to just cover over so that I don't get ink all over my fingers. This is an inky project. Okay, this is what we got. Now we have the flap of our envelope decorated. So we'll put that aside for now, and let's put this away. And we are done with our ink, so we're going to go ahead and put that away too. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get out my story label punch, which is this punch right here. You can see that without all this glare I have around me. And I'm just going to go ahead and take the cardstock that's going to be layered, and I'm just going to go ahead and punch out of it. You're not going to be able to see that hole anyway. So that's all we're going to do, is just punch that out, and And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a die cut, which I have already done for speed. And this die cut comes from the Well Written, I believe it's called Well Written die set. There's actually 20, I think there's like 24 dies in here. You get words and images, and you'll be able to do a lot of cards with the sentiments that are in here. So what I've done is I've die cut this out, but before I did that, I put a little bit of sticker paper under behind it before I die cut it. I actually used some multi-purpose adhesive sheets. Stampin' Up! No longer sells them, but if you don't have them, you can just go ahead and die cut this and just put little spots of glue. So I'm going to take that multi-purpose adhesive sheet off. So basically I've made this into a sticker, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this on my my little story, I think it's called the storybook label punch. I'll have it on the screen for you. And this actually is a perfect fit for this punch. I just want to make sure I get the thanks straight on here. This is a little too low. Let me position it better. I haven't really stuck it down yet. That's where I want it, right about there. See, it's like a perfect fit. Okay. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this layer here that I punched out, and I'm going to use some Tombow Mono multi-purpose glue, and we're just going to go ahead and put some glue on the back. I should be using my silicone craft sheet. I don't have anything to protect my surface here. Let me bring that out here. And we are just going to place this kind of in the center. Now, it's not going to have an even spacing all the way around it. Just so you know, the spacing on the sides is going to be just a little bit wider than the top and the bottom here. But you just want to make sure that it's even. Even top and bottom, and even side to side. Okay? And then we can go ahead and place our stamped piece here. And I'm going to go ahead and use some more multi-purpose liquid glue. And I like using the glue just for cardstock because you have a little bit of time to work with it and make sure that it's in the middle of everything. All right. And now I'm going to just eyeball where I'm going to put my label here, and I'm just going to raise it up on dimensionals. I'm putting about 4 dimensionals on here, top to bottom and side to side, just like that. And we are going to just remove the backer paper from these dimensionals. Got my little trash can here. These little dimensional backer papers, I find them everywhere. They cling to everything. So making sure they get right in the trash can. Okay, so now I am just going to, I'm going to hang on to it with my take your pick tool. Just the tip right here. Just so that I can position it in the middle. I'm kind of eyeballing it. You could measure if you want to. I'm just going to eyeball it. That looks center enough to me right there. Okay, and now I'm going to work on a little button here. This is our little buttons. It comes in a collection 2018 to 2020 in color buttons. So you get all these different little plastic buttons, and they're cute. So I thought I would use them, and I'm going to use that with some of our Call Me Clover gross grain 1/8 inch ribbon. Now I need to just take my paper snips and just cut a real sharp edge right here so that I can feed it through the buttonhole. You see that? I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not, but we're just going to go through the back part of the buttonhole Okay, and now if I can't grab it, I'm gonna let my tweezers grab it, because it is kind of a a thin little piece. I'm gonna cut it a little thinner too, because it's not going through it as easily as I'd like it to. So we're going in through the back of the button. You could tell what's the front and the back. The back doesn't have the decoration on it. So we're going straight through here. I'm going to grab my tweezers and pull up. Okay. And we're going to go down through the front too. And let me grab my tweezers again. We're going to pull this down. Okay. Now I want those two tails to kind of be the same in length, and they are. So the next thing I'm going to do is just tie a bow on the back. I'm just going to make a loop. You can make 2 loops and tie the loops together if you want, but I'm just going to do an overhand bow like that, just like that. So we've got 2 loops here, and I'm just going to shorten those loops, make sure that it's nice and tight on there, and then I can take my paper snips and then just cut these tails at an angle. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is take oh, I got stuff stuck to me. I'm going to take a couple of glue dots, and let me get my take your pick tool, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one glue dot and pick it up off of the paper, and I'm going to lay it right next to the another glue dot, so that I can pick them both up to make it just a little bit wider. And that's what I'm going to need on the back of this button, something just a little bit wider. Okay, so we're going to place this down here right on the corner. Okay, and now that button looks a little plain, so what I thought I would do is take some of the basic adhesive back sequence, and this color here is just like a pearl color. It's very shiny, and I'm going to take my take your pick tool. These are adhesive back, so I'm just going to pick one up, and I'm going to place it right in the center here. Oh, I got it wrong side. Just right in the center here. Now you could even put another jewel on top, a basic jewel. And to make this even with some more bling, to make this shiny, I'm going to just take Wink of Stella and just go over the white. I probably should have done this before I stuck it on, but I'm just taking Wink of Stella and I'm making that thank you sparkle a little bit better than it just being plain white. Just giving it a little bit of dimension. And you probably can't tell by looking at it, but there is some really pretty sparkle. And you could also cut this out of this shimmer paper and you would get some sparkle too. Okay, and there's my card, and here is the envelope that matches the card. Isn't that pretty? Let's bring in all the cards, because we're going to put them in one of these they are called acetate card boxes. Okay, you get, oh, let's see, you get 10 boxes for a pretty good price. So I've got all of my cards here with the envelopes to match, and let's just kind of gather them all together. All right, now they're not going to fit in this acetate box because of the button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some this way, and then I'm going to turn a couple the other way. Believe me, I've tried to stick these in. I'm going to put these in upside down, and I'll decide which one I want in the front. I probably want that blue one in the front. Yeah, like that. Okay, and then it will fit in the box. I've already put one of these boxes together. You just fold where there's score lines on the boxes, and just put them together like this, and they should all fit now in my box. And I may decorate the box. I'm not exactly sure yet what I'm going to do about decorating this box, but they will all fit in this box. See? So if I put like a ribbon or something around the box, make sure that they're all in there nice and even. Now this box is meant for the A2 size, but the note cards fit in here nicely too. So we're just going to fold this over. We're going to fold this over. This doesn't have to be so hard, but it is a little bit stiff. Now I've got a little gift box to give away. I'll put a ribbon and a tag and decide who I'm going to give it to, which sister I'm going to give it to. I have 4 sisters, so I'm sure they're going to fight over them. Nobody else makes cards but me and my family. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope I taught you something. It's not hard to make a set of cards. Just use the colors that you have. Use all the bright, beautiful colors, and some of these gorgeous stamp sets like that Crackle paint. I mean, you can't go wrong. So if you need any of the tools and supplies that I used in this video, they'll be listed in the description of the video. And you can go to my website too, www.geoamazingpapercrafts.stampinup.net. And I hope I could be your demonstrator if you don't already have one. So once again, I am Jeanette with Geo Amazing Paper Crafts, and you make it a great day. Bye-bye.